Hello friends and welcome. Today I bring you a completely updated video where we will learn how to build a stevia crop from scratch. In this video we will cover the entire process step by step, from preparing the land until we have our sheets ready for sale. This is undoubtedly one of the most complete videos that we have uploaded to this channel and is always supported by real images of our plantations. Join me and discover how to achieve a successful crop that meets the highest standards of the market.
Here I tell you everything. To maximize yields in stevia cultivation, it is essential that plants develop dense and healthy foliage. Our goal should be a minimum production of 20 gras of dry leaves per plant in each cycle. To be clear, let's assume an average of 10 g per month. However, with best agronomic practices, it is possible to exceed 50 gras per plant, achieving a production of up to 5 t per hectare in each cycle, depending on the crop density. Even with a more conservative production of 1 t per hectare per month, Stella cultivation remains highly profitable. It is crucial to understand that production cycles tend to be shorter in warm climates, where the leaves can also develop greater sweetness in cooler climates. Instead, a higher yield in grams per plant can be obtained. Therefore, both climate scenarios offer significant agronomic advantages. It is important to note that stevia cultivation requires a considerable investment of resources such as fertilizers, inputs for the control of pests and boil diseases, and adequate space. If we allocate these resources and get less than 10 g per plant, we would be compromising the profitability of the plantation. Now let's see how to achieve the stevia crop step by step.
The first and most important thing is to do a soil analysis. This will allow us to know the specific characteristics of the soil, such as pH-Y nutrient levels. Other crucial factors: with this information, we will be able to apply the amendments and fertilizers suitable to use the growth of our plants and ensure a healthy and productive soil. The first step is to eliminate pests towards bushes. Then we open the soil manually or with machinery until it is loose and well aerated. Next, we apply the amendments suggested by the soil analysis and make the furrows. Ideally, they should be 120 cm wide, with a minimum space of 70 cm between them. To conserve moisture and minimize weed growth, we cover the soil with a mulch that can be organic, such as rice husk, coconut fiber, ribbon, or even stevia stalk remnants. It is also common to use plastic molds, which are durable and easy to obtain. It is important to choose the right color according to the weather. Black plastic for cool climates, as it increases the temperature of the soil, and gray or white for temperate and warm climates respectively, where they reflect solar radiation and prevent overheating. Once the cover was placed, we drilled the plastic with a craft tool, adjusting the diameter of the holes according to the irrigation system, larger for sprinkler irrigation and smaller for drip irrigation. This is how we prepare the ground for the transplantation of stevia seedlings. In areas with high rainfall like ours, we usually use sprinkler irrigation systems, which can be installed after placing the cover. However, in areas where water is scarce, drip irrigation systems are much more efficient, save labor, and allow nutrients to be applied more precisely through fertilization. When drip irrigation is used, the tapes must be placed before installing the mole. We
make a hole in the previously moistened earth with a thin stick with a small tip. We remove the seedlings, either from our own nursery or from a reliable supplier. We transplant the new plants, lightly covering the root and making gentle pressure. Variety selection is critical, as not all are suitable for the sweetener industry. The correct variety guarantees, in addition to safe marketing, abundant foliage and short production cycles, which translates into a high yield per hectare. The plants must have gone through an optimal rooting process so that when transplanted, they adapt quickly and grow vigorously. If the seedlings do not have these characteristics, they may not reach their maximum potential, negatively affecting production. It is always preferable to transplant seedlings instead of seeds, since the latter usually have a high mortality rate and uneven growth. Sketches used for rooting must come from healthy mother plants and be selected at the appropriate time within the production cycle. The success of future planting depends largely on the quality of the plant material. We perform at least 2 formation prunings. The first can be done before or just after the transplant. It should not be very high to favor leaf development from the base of the plant. The correct thing is to cut just above the second pair of leaves. The second pruning is performed when the foliage has developed in order to increase it. In this case, it is cut just below the last pair of leaves on each stem. The time to do this second pruning must be chosen carefully, since if it is done very early, the number of shoots will not be used correctly, and a smaller number of new stems will be generated. However, if it is done too late, the new stems will not have enough time to fully develop within the production cycle. Pruning helps prevent excessive vertical growth and encourage lush foliage. Root fertilization must be applied at the optimal time within the production cycle, so that plants absorb nutrients efficiently. The dose and frequency of application must be precise, supplemented with foliar fertilization. In addition, it is essential to implement rigorous pest and disease control to ensure crop health. The ideal time to harvest the stella is identified when the leaves begin to become more erect and tense. It is essential to be attentive to any appearance of flower buds or yellowing of the basal leaves, since both are indicators that the plant has passed the optimal harvest time. Delaying the harvest can have serious consequences. Mature leaves that are not harvested in time dry out, turning very quickly from yellow to brown and then to black, also losing their sweetening properties, which directly affects product quality. In addition, some stems may dry out, which makes it difficult to regrow necessary for the next productive cycle. In summary, an out-of-time harvest can significantly reduce production and increase plant mortality. It is important to note that yellowing of the basal leaves is not always an indicator of the delay of a harvest. It can also be due to other factors such as water stress, nutritional deficiencies, or phytosanitary problems. That is why it is crucial to maintain constant crop monitoring to detect any abnormalities in time and ensure a timely harvest that maximizes crop profitability and sustainability.
Both with different requirements. The first is the market for health stores and chain stores, where the aesthetics of the product is prioritized.
For this market, it is essential to dehydrate the leaves at a controlled temperature, which can be done in an artisanal oven. This oven must have a heat source and a ventilation system that allows the circulation of hot air inside. The drying time will depend on the ratio between the amount of raw leaves and the amount of heat applied. Once the leaves are properly dehydrated, manual selection is necessary to remove brown stem and leaf residue, ensuring that only the best leaves reach the consumer. The second market is that of industry, which places more emphasis on the sweetening power of the leaf than on its appearance. In this case, drying requirements and post-harvest work are less stringent when applying these concepts.
Not only will we obtain abundant and healthy harvests, but we will guarantee a product with the aesthetic standards and sweetening power necessary to be highly competitive. If you have come this far, I want to thank you for joining us in this video. Creating this type of content involves many hours of work and effort. Small amateur channels like ours are far from monetizing. That's why a like, a subscription, or a comment are our greatest reward. Also, if you can share this video with someone who is interested, it would be amazing, so I invite you to subscribe and activate the bell with all the notifications. If you can participate with a comment, for example, what do you want us to talk about in the next video, or what was needed in this video? That'd be great. Also, I want to tell you that we have requests from large companies that want to paint stevia leaves in large quantities. If you are interested in participating or investing with us, write to me and I will tell you the possibilities. Well, friends, and that's it for today's video. See you very soon for a next story. See you soon.